Hello internet, and today's video is going to be a book opinion. Those videos in which I tell you my opinion on a book. And today's book is going to be Not Your Sidekick by C.B. Lee. And you've probably heard of this one from me often enough. I praise it, I get excited about it, and I truly adored this book. So this book follows a character called Jessica Tran, and she lives in a Boku-aka type of world where superheroes can be hired by the government and paid to do a job. However, we still have the stipulation that superheroes have a secret identity just so that they don't get bothered. So we have villains, we have heroes, you get paid by the government. And the way this superhero society works is that there is a ranking system. You have A class, B class, C class, and so on. And all these rankings depend on the power that you have and whether or not it's a really good power or a really weak power and how long you can use it. Because in this world, superpowers have limits where you can only use it, say, 30 minutes out of the day before you need to recharge. So of course C class only can use it from like 30 minutes to an hour. B class can maybe use it 2 to 3 hours. A classes can use it almost all day, and so on and so on. So depending on what rank you fall in, what your superhero power is, and then how long you can use it, you get placed in the system and you get an option to be a superhero. So Jessica Tran is the middle child in a superhero family. She has two parents, they're C-class superheroes in a small town, and they have these C-class villains that they're always fighting. It's like a hilarious sort of rivalry between her family and the supervillain family. And Jessica Tran has a little self-esteem problems because she's the middle child. So we always know the stigma about being the middle child and like you're always forgotten. Well, Jessica is forgotten even more often because she doesn't have any amazing talents. Her older sister is an A, B class superhero, so her parents are really proud. Her younger brother is a genius who is just like super smart kid genius, and Jessica's just like your average kid. So her parents don't really like, she really just has that middle child syndrome, okay? Like in this world, it's some extreme middle child syndrome. So she really wants a superpower, but she knows, okay, I'm not gonna get it. I'm just gonna be the middle child. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna get an internship. And she ends up getting this internship at this really popular technological company. And it turns out that this company is run by the supervillains that her parents are always fighting. And throughout this whole thing, there's like this conspiracy going on, like supervillains are disappearing, certain things are happening within the government. Jessica's trying to figure it out with the help of the people that she's working with because they're trying to figure out. So she, during her intern, and the person that she's working for, they're like trying to figure out what is going on. Why are people going missing? What is going on underneath the surface that is really suspicious? Upsides of this book, Jessica Tran is a bisexual and she has a crush on a female that she goes to school with. So we have LGBT relationships and people in here. And this one has a male transgender, and the second book in the series follows him and his story. We have a Latina best friend, which I'm always excited about because I don't see enough Latinas in books. I'm sorry. It's just like we're always forgotten by the wayside, and I don't know why. Or maybe I'm reading the wrong books. I mean, I try, but sometimes I just can't find them, so I'm always searching for more, have a more naturally diverse cast. A couple things that I really loved about this book. I liked the inventiveness of the superpowers, how while not all of the superpowers are completely original, if you're well in depth with superheroes, with comic books, with just the superhero genre and power set genre in general, if you're familiar with those things, some of these superpowers aren't as inventive as it may seem, but I like the originality and the twist that C.B. Lee takes to them and kind of how she shapes them for her own purposes. I thought that was fabulous. I love seeing how these superpowers works with each other. I actually really love the class system of superheroes and having that stigma that, oh, you can only use your power for so long. It made it like really interesting to see these rankings, to see how they would be ranked, not only by is your power super amazing, like can you fly and are invulnerable, but also how long can you do that thing, which I thought was like an extra added note. I also love superhero books that add in the idea of superheroing being an official job you can have, because one thing I'm tired of seeing in a lot of superhero books is like, oh, if everyone has superpowers, no one can be a superhero. And I'm like, no, that's actually not true. As Boku Hero Academia has proven, superheroes can still exist when everyone has a superpower, because it's unlikely that everyone gets the same magnificent superpower. Therefore, you can still have superheroes in a world where superpowers are really, really common for a lot of people, because you still need some sort of justice system. You still need somebody to go capture the bad guys. So superheroes would still exist, maybe a little differently than just vigilante work, but still superheroes would exist. So I like how it kind of mixed the American version of comic books, where we have that idea that, oh, superheroes are vigilantes, no one really knows them, like there's only a few of them, but they're common enough, with the idea that is shown in Boku no, where it's like superpowers are common and it's an actual official job that you can have. So I liked the mixture of both. I like the conspiracy behind it. I like how Jessica was trying to figure out what this conspiracy was, what the governmental conspiracy is, because I love theories. Like, I really do. I love theories. I love like film theories, I love book theories, I love conspiracy theories. Now, that doesn't mean like I'm a crazy person, right? But I love hearing about them. I love having someone try to convince me of something. Someone like uncovering all the deep dark secrets hidden away. It's like one of my favorite things, and I know it's like the biggest trope in the world, like, oh, there's always something hidden and someone must figure out the real truth. But I eat it up every single time, and I love how it was in this. I also love the relationship between her and her crush. I thought that was really, really cute. I don't see as many female relationships that I really like, because sometimes they get like overly emotional and fluffy for me, that I don't tend to enjoy them as much. I don't know why that is, but I'm always looking for lesbian relationships or LGBTQ relationships that happen between two females, because I want to see like all the possible types of love that can exist. I want to see this diverse type of storytelling, this diverse type of like characters. But a lot of times I feel like when they do females, they just make it like overly emotional and overly fluffy and overly something. And I'm just like, they're people. They will act like human beings. They're not going to have dramatics every other second, okay? Why do you keep making them super dramatic every other second? It's so freaking frustrating. So I like books like this. I like books like Of Fire and Stars, where it's a natural progression, where it's not overly fluffy. I'm not asking for like my females to be unfeminine or more masculine. I just don't want them to be like pure fluff all the time and pure sap, I guess. I don't mind fluff, but if you get like overly sappy with me and overly dramatic with me, I'm just frustrated with your whole relationship. So I don't like when relationships do that. That's why I don't like most like contemporary YA and most traditional YA, because they always get sappy with their relationships, and that usually carries over more so in the female LGBT relationships than the male ones. So I was happy that this did not have that. Also, the cover's pretty. It's that soft matte stuff, so I like it. Bonus, they put a number on the side so you can know which one is the first in the series. I'm starting to really love the way that series are going now, where they're not exactly linear, following the same exact character, but they happen within the same world. So I definitely like how you hear Jessica's story in this one, but in the next book you get to hear about her friend, and I love that. Like, I love having linear stories following the same main character throughout the whole series, but I like the diversity sort of idea that they're throwing in, with one book being about one set of characters and the next book being about a different set of characters, and all being taking place in one world. I like when like authors are upfront with you about that, and when they do that, because I find it like a fun way for you to keep involved within a world, but also start to see like different perspectives of how people relate to things within this world without it being forced and just uncomfortable, like say the Lost Hero arc from Rick Riordan, where I felt like being introduced so suddenly to a bunch of new characters that I'd never seen before within the same world was like uncomfortable for me. But when it's like upfront like this, I'm more comfortable, I'm more excited about that sort of thing. I would suggest this book to anyone who is curious about LGBT books. This is a fairly good one. It has a lot of diverse characters who are naturally diverse, who aren't forced into something like that. If you like superhero books, definitely. If you like superhero books with like a twist of conspiracy and not so much about having superpowers, but being super powered in a world and then having that world mess with you, this is definitely one of those more like mystery conspiracy type books, and then the characters in it happen to have superheroes and happens to involve the superhero world. I like that mixture of genres, so if you like those sort of things, I would suggest this book. Also, if you like pretty books, I would suggest this book. I like orange is one of my least favorite colors, but I actually enjoy the look of this book. I actually think this book is pretty, and like I said, I don't like orange. Comment down below if you know any other books that would fit into an LGBT kind of category. If you know any books that feature heavily with Latina characters, because it's something I've been searching for. I have like 1 or 2 or 3 on my shelf that I know have Latina characters in it that I haven't read yet, and it's just something that I really want, because I feel like Latinas and Asians get thrown by the wayside when it comes to discussions of diversity and showing minority groups in books. They just get thrown on the wayside. They're not as prominent, and it's usually just a black and white conversation, and I'm so sick and tired of it, because there's more people in the world. Come on, like, I am also black, but I admit there are more people in the world than just like black people and white people. So I want to see more Latina main characters, or at least Latina characters who stand up, and I want to see more Asian characters. So Jessica Tran, she is an Asian character. Don't know exactly where she comes from the Far East, but I know that's her ethnicity. I want to see like more Asian characters in general. I want to see characters from, say, India. I want to see more characters like that. I want to see more Latin characters, just Latinos in general. I just want more characters that I can empathize with, who aren't just in the white and black category. Okay, that's all I'm asking. So if you know any books and have any book suggestions, which I can look up and potentially read sometime in the future and just look into, that have those sort of things, then comment down and let me know. Bonus points if they don't have anything to do with contemporary and some have some sort of supernatural or magical or superpower element to them. I would really appreciate that. If you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue seeing more, click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, internet.